For years, I thought that overthinking was being smart. I would analyze every option, replay every scenario, and try to predict every possible future outcome. But the truth is, I was just stuck, wasting time and draining energy and making zero real progress. The worst part is, I thought I was doing the right thing by being so thorough. But in reality, I was standing still and not moving forward. The 3-second rule: stop hesitating and start acting. Overthinking is just as bad as underthinking, except the people who do it think they're making progress while doing nothing. Overthinking thrives on hesitation. The longer you wait to actually do something, the more your brain begins to fill with doubt and the less action you take. Ironically, that is the reality of most of our lives and most of you out there who are listening to this. You have hesitation when it comes to making decisions. You overthink things through, you overanalyze things, and you think that the more time you have, the more you're actually going to get that decision right, when the reality of it is you're actually slowing yourself down and procrastinating making that decision. When you catch yourself hesitating to make that decision or make that leap or do that thing, there's a very simple mindset shift or a mindset mechanism that I have been using, and I have found it pretty effective, and that is counting down from 3, 2, 1 and making that decision or taking that step immediately right after you count to 1. So I was watching a documentary on Netflix called Sprint, and I realized that when the athletes line up to get ready to sprint 100 meters or whatever race that is, there is a count that goes down in their head, and usually it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is also something that we're all familiar with as children when we were growing up and we would race each other. We would stand in a line, all of us in the same spot, and somebody would count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. What that go did is it gave you the permission to be able to take that next step forward and begin to do that thing and begin to run that race. Taking that same principle and psychology or philosophy and applying it to your life now as an adult. Lean into the go. When you feel that hesitation, count down 3, 2, 1, and when you say go, actually do that thing and actually execute. Give yourself that permission to go for that thing and not overthink it for too long. If you're overthinking sending an email or a message, just write the draft, proofread the draft, then count down 3, 2, 1, press send. Let it go. I have found that 9.99 times out of 10, I always make that action. It's very rare that I don't actually take that action when I use this simple mindset shift. You can use it across many examples. If you are procrastinating or overthinking making a phone call, maybe there's somebody you need to talk to, there's some news you need to deliver, or there's something you need to ask about, and there's a lot of hesitation about it, and you're just staring at your phone the entire time. 3, 2, 1, press the call button. If you're starting a task, you want to do something, you want to do a project, you're overthinking it, 3, 2, 1, just jump right into it. And I found that most of the time applying that simple technique that we all used when we were children and we would race each other still works as an adult. And that leaning into that tried and true method, I have seen myself actually cut off that loop of overthinking and just dive into execution, which is where all the success is going to come. If you are enjoying this video and you're getting value out of it and this information is helping you make real change in your life, subscribe to this channel to get more episodes like this. Let's dive right in. The 80% rule. Perfection is the enemy of action. Where do I begin with this one? Most overthinkers wait for 100% certainty before making a decision. This, to me, is the key and really is the root of overthinking and overanalyzing. It's wanting so badly to get to that 100%, wanting to be so sure about a decision or about a task that you end up doing it with 100% certainty. The hilarious thing about this way of thinking is that it's never going to work, because there is no such thing as perfect. There is no perfect thing. There's no perfect time. There's no perfect scenario. If you wait for something, if you wait for time, for anything to be perfect, then you're never going to do anything. And that reality, once you really embrace that and understand that you're going to waste a lot of time in your life chasing the 100%, things will get very real, and all of a sudden you're going to want to take action very quickly. Instead of aiming for 100%, one thing that I've been doing, and it's been effective in my life, is aiming for 80%. I found that I can almost always get 80% of the way there. If I have a decision to make, I almost have 80% of the information. If I want to start a project like creating content on YouTube, I typically have 80% of all the equipment I need and all the knowledge that I need to start posting videos. Where I spend most of my time is the 20%. That 20% is very dangerous because you can spend hours, days, weeks, months, even years in that 20%, not actually executing, but trying to figure out a way how you can get that 20% certainty so that you can be 100% certain. That slows a lot of people down. That slowed me down. That's going to slow you down. It might even stop you from doing the very thing you want to do. And 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you'll still be exactly where you are today because you're chasing that 20%. If the thing is 80% good enough, take the next action. That's the mindset that you need to take when you're overthinking something or when you're even wanting to start anything new. If you want to start a new workout plan in the gym, get a workout plan, create a workout plan, get it 80% of the way there. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, and just go and start day one. If you want to start creating content on YouTube, you have 80% of the information in your head. You have 80% of the capability to make YouTube content using your phone. You don't need all of that other 20%. That's a mistake that I made. And it made me procrastinate starting this channel for many years because I thought I needed all the high-tech equipment. I thought I needed to know how to edit all the videos, do all the sound, do all the lightings, and get that perfect video to come out looking like people that have 100,000 plus subscribers, million plus subscribers. Instead of focusing on all of that, what I should have been focusing on is the 80% that I had, and I would have started this channel 2, 3, 5 years sooner, but I overthought it and I stayed in that 20%. And that's why it's a dangerous thing for you to do, and you should learn from that and realize if it's 80% of the way there, take action and adjust as you go. That is the key part of this 80% rule, 80% method. It's adjust. The adjust gives you that permission for you to leap into that thing, knowing that you have the flexibility to change it later. It takes away that pressure, takes away that hesitation, understanding and knowing that you can take 80% of the action and then you can always change, you can always adjust, you can always pivot. It's not 100% locked in, but you are 100% committed. The one-way versus the two-way door rule. Not every decision is permanent. Overthinkers treat every decision like it's irreversible, it's final, and it's permanent. It's just not true. That is not the reality. Not every decision needs to be treated like it's something that is irreversible and permanent. Borrowing this rule from Amazon and Jeff Bezos, who outlined the difference between one-way and two-way decisions. One-way doors are your big, irreversible doors. These are things like quitting your job, signing a contract, locking yourself into something that's going to be very hard to get out of. These decisions that are one way require you to really think carefully. They require you to overanalyze, to overthink, because these are things that once you get into them, it becomes very difficult to get out. Two-way doors are decisions that are reversible. Most daily actions and most of your goals are reversible. Trying a new gym routine, trying a new meal plan, starting creating content on YouTube, starting a new project, having a new investment. These are things that are reversible and that you're not 100% locked into. And there's varying degrees of being locked into those things, but for the most part, you can always walk those back or pivot from those decisions. It's very important to understand this distinction as someone who overthinks. Remember, I said overthinkers think that every decision is irreversible and it's final. Overthinkers tend to think that decisions are one-way doors. They are things that you take and you go through and you can't come back from. Trust me, I know what that feels like. I know what that is because that is my life. That is my mindset. That is how I live and how I lived before, is thinking that everything is a one-way door. And if I make a decision, I'm not going to be able to come back from something. That is a very dangerous thing to think. And when you bring in the concept now of a two-way decision or two-way door, understanding that these are things that you can go through and these are things that you can come back from, it takes away that pressure, it takes away that hesitation, and it takes away a lot of that overthinking. And now it gives you the ability to understand that this decision that you're struggling with or this decision that you're overthinking about, you can come back from that. You can pivot from that. You can change it. You can even make it better. And it becomes a lot better to make decisions, and you tend to overthink things a lot less. If a decision is a two-way door, stop overthinking it. Just go through it. You can always come back from it and make that pivot. Overthinking steals your time, energy, and confidence. But the good news is that you can break free from it. Right now, think about the one thing that you have been overthinking and apply the 3-second rule, apply the 80% rule, and think about that decision. Is it a one-way door? Is it a two-way door? Can you come back from it? If so, step into it and execute. And if you want to take action even further, watch this video right here. I'll show you how to stay consistent once you start executing. Because knowing how to stop overthinking is just the first step. Staying consistent and going through it, that's a whole different ballgame.